Yep, it's me again. They hate me, that's why they give a fuck about me. At the same time, as always, JD Miles, the MGTOWs, they love to hate. Even the ones that claim everybody loves to hate them, loves to hate MGTOW at the same time, as always, which is why they keep us relevant to this day, and I'm back again. Well, fellas, my masterpiece is ready to roll out. Don't worry, tomorrow is gonna be lit. But until then, let's talk about tonight's topic of discussion, in which I'm speaking from an independent point of view. It seemed like Trump decided to double down on the fact that Vice President Kamala Harris is not black. And to be honest, rightfully so, because he actually dropped receipts on this shit. But everybody wants to go around believing that Kamala Harris is black when she is not. Yeah, I know. It's a big, hard, bitter pill to swallow. But then again, what did Uncle JD said? Identity politics is so retarded as fuck. What's more, we're dealing with an election where one side can completely smear the other, while at the same time they believe that they can smear their opponent, while at the same time they need to have a safe space. Basically put, they living in glass houses while they living in glass houses throwing stones. But instead of Trump apologizing, he instead not only doubles down, but brings receipts to the table. And before I go any further, shout out to Officer Tatum. I'll leave the link to his review in the description box. Go check it out. But man, this is gonna be good. Let's get started, shall we?
Ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump got on stage and he getting roasted right now. Only by the ignorant people. Like, we get it. Saying that, first of all, Kamala Harris was an Indian. She went by and was an Indian woman. She acted like an Indian woman, and all of a sudden she's black now that it's convenient. And it's funny because people think he's crazy when he says stuff like that, but he's always almost 100% true or 100% right on it. Let's look at it, man. Don't believe me, man. Let me show you the evidence. I got a CNN clip where he did a whole segment about Kamala Harris being an Indian. A whole segment. Bro, let me say this before we start.
A whole segment.
How is it that when you're biracial, my children are biracial, both of my boys, when you're biracial and you have a white side and a black side, why can't you just claim the white side? Just imagine this. If Barack Obama was white, right? He said, oh, it's my white side of the family. And they called him white. And he said, yeah, that's 50% of my family is white. Yeah, I'm white. Yeah, you're a white man. He accepted that. And then when he ran for president, he was somehow black. Nobody in America will accept that. They say you black. Well, then how can you do the Indian thing and then later on you become black? You can't be white and black, but you can be Indian and black. Let's roll this clip before I lose my salvation. Indian Senator in U.S. history, which would be quite an accomplishment.
Not good.
Let's play it again so the people in the back. Listen.
Certainly, you could become the first Indian senator in U.S. history, which would be quite an accomplishment. Not good.
It's like saying she'd be like if she was black and white. It's like saying you could become the first white female senator. Come on.
She was always of Indian heritage.
Okay, so what we're going to cook today is an Indian recipe.
Yes.
Because you are Indian.
Yes.
Okay.
She was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black.
Wherever I go and I see Indian people at the supermarket, on the street, everyone's like, you know, Kamala Harris is Indian, right? It's like the thing we're so excited about to have you running for president.
Yeah.
So we're both Indian,
Yes.
but actually we're both South Indian.
Yes. You look like the entire one half of my family.
You look like the entire one half of my family. Show me a black person that's biracial that they call that person white, and then they say, yeah, you look like the whole one half of my family. They have never accepted.
I mean, the shit is crazy. I mean, and as I stated before, for that matter, if they want Kamala Harris to be black, then they might as well just accept the fact that Rachel Dolezal is black. Oh, that's right. When Rachel Dolezal got exposed for being white, not black, oh, she ain't one of them. But now we see Kamala Harris doing the exact same thing. Oh, but she's different. She's running for president. Get the fuck out of here. Let's continue.
Thank you.
You do.
I've been telling people we're related already, so this is perfect. It's basically true.
I hooked up with her on February 13th.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
Just to be clear.
Donald Trump funny. She became a black person. This is Kamala Knee-Pad Harris right here. Kamala with the dot. Kamala dot Harris. Kamala dot Harris, that's what we call her. She an Indian. But let me show you the clip from CNN, because if you don't believe it, because we're right-wing extremists and conservatives always thinking all this stuff, and they always talking about, and they are racist. CNN did a whole story on her.
My mother, who raised me and my sister, was a proud woman. She was a brown woman. She was a woman with a heavy accent.
And her mother, Shamla Gopalan, was also the biggest influence in Kamala Harris's life.
The answer.
And to think, we got Kamala Harris bootlickers out here like Joy Reid talking about, oh, we looking weird if we don't vote for Kamala Harris. Oh, you ain't black if you don't vote for Kamala Harris. Oh, so we're not black because we won't vote for a non-black female president pretending to be black? Really now? Let's continue.
After the big announcement, Harris's sister wrote in a Twitter post, "You can't know who Kamala Harris is without knowing who our mother was." In 1958, a precocious 19-year-old Indian, Gopalan traveled thousands of miles from her home and family to pursue a doctorate in nutrition and endocrinology in America. She soon became an active civil rights crusader while studying at UC Berkeley.
But once she went there, she almost felt free.
This her uncle. That man an Indian. That man is an Indian from India. But she black now, huh? That she black.
And she took part in politics. She used to bring a whole series of literature, leftist literature from Karl Popper's, he was a great philosopher.
In her book, Harris says, "There is no title or honor on earth I'll treasure more than to say I am Shamla Gopalan Harris's daughter." Harris's visits to India with her mother kept her connected to her roots. Her grandfather, who had strong views on humanitarian issues, worked closely with officials to reallocate refugees. Their conversations had a strong influence on her.
Those walks along the beach in India really planted something in my mind and created a commitment in me before I even realized it.
What's more, you always hear this crying, bitching, and complaining about cultural appropriation. But goddamn, you gotta love how these same crybabies of cultural appropriation who wants to pick and choose where this should and shouldn't apply to. The reason, Uncle JD, why are you making such a big deal out of this? Because of this right here. Ain't it funny? As I said before, one side of the political party can throw mud at the other side, but that other side throw mud right back at them. Oh, they're racist, they're misogynist, they're this, that, and the third. And by the way, smear campaigns will not get our vote. I'm just throwing that shit out there. But yeah, everybody should pretend that Kamala Harris is black because you need to vote blue no matter who. Again, fuck out of here. Let's continue.
It has led me to where I am today.
Harris's maternal uncle, Gopalan Balachandran, who lives in Delhi, tells us how the senator turns to her amma, which means mother in Tamil, for guidance even after her death.
Indian. She's the Indian girl there. Is my Jamaican accent there? Her father was Jamaican. I don't think he's Jamaican though. I think he's Indian and Jamaican. She never said she was black or Jamaican there. Now she open up. I want to use the cuss word, but I will not. She's the Indian girl there. Real quick. I don't know.
Yep, she became black overnight. Yep, we get it. We all get it. Let's continue.
Tell her, make your mother proud. She said, what are you telling me? Everything that I do, I ask myself, would Amma approve of this?
Kamala in Hindi means lotus flower and is an important symbol in Indian culture, rooted deep in the bottom of the river. Very similar to Harris's Indian identity, which she wears on her sleeve. There's no doubt that the primary source of learning for Senator Harris was from her mother's experiences and the conversations that she had with her maternal grandfather when she visited India, which was very often accompanying her mother, or when the grandparents would visit them in America.
All right, she's an Indian. Let's Nick, if you can bring up her kids. I want y'all to see a picture of her husband and her kids. I don't know how black people get hoodwinked by this stuff every single year. It's crazy to me. Barack Obama.
I mean, this shit's crazy. You look at her children, you don't even see a single speck of black in them. And I'm just being brutally honest here. Now, Barack Obama, he passes as black. He has it. He still has the features. But Kamala, no.
Obama was half white, half black. They can never find an actual African, a person that's a descendant from Africa that only have black people in their lineage, that married a black person and all of the above. They can't find that person, so they hoodwink you into believing some random person they want to be a black today is black. It's crazy. You'll never see mixed people like that. They've been white, like for instance, Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick was raised by white people. His black parents, whoever they were, they didn't want nothing to do with it. Or whatever the circumstance was. He was adopted at birth, raised by a number of white people. Why didn't they call him white? His white heritage. See, I told y'all. But somehow you can be everything else your whole life, and then when it's convenient for the people of the melanin, somehow you black. Let me get up off here. Comment in the comment section. I'm out.
I mean, and it's crazy too. Now, let me tell you how all this ties in. Because it's funny, they call Trump Adolf Hitler, a Triple K member, a W supremacist. But at the moment they turn around and say that Kamala Harris ain't black, she's Indian, she's a DEI hire, she's a Biden inheritance, she's a childless cat lady. Now all of a sudden the same ones who want to throw mud are now the same ones whining, boo-hoo, whining and crying about, oh, look what they're saying about Kamala Harris. Oh, they're racist, they're sexist, they're misogynistic, they're derp. But wait a second. But y'all the same ones calling Donald Trump Adolf Hitler. Huh? So basically, it's okay for the left to smear the right, but at the moment the right returns that smear back to the left, oh, now all of a sudden it's foul. Now all of a sudden, Kamala Harris needs a safe space. And keep this in mind. Kamala Harris ain't black, but look at all these circus clowns trying to push identity politics. Look at all these circus clowns trying to shame men, especially black men, to vote for Kamala Harris. And what for? She don't have the interest of them. She didn't present no interest in not just the men that they're trying to shame, but all men in general. The only thing Kamala Harris is pushing is everything female, which is why you got the feminists coming out in full force in supporting her. And suppose that she wins the election. This is going to be dark times indeed. I'm already giving out my prediction what it's going to be. What's it's going to be? If it turns out to be a Kamala Harris administration. If you're a man in the U.S., you should be concerned about this. She does not have our best interest, but we are expected to vote for her no matter what. No. This is the reason why the vast majority of males, especially black males, are still voting for Trump, with the exception of the beta male, the soy boys, the simps, the ass kissers, the white knights, what may have you. They are still voting for Trump. Shoot, you even got black females coming out saying that they are also voting for Trump. What's more, the vast majority is both seeing and hearing too much of a smear campaign more than what needs to be done. What needs to be done as the next president of the United States. I mean, think about it. We're dealing with people out here are dealing with inflation. People out here are dealing with unaffordable housing, and you know it's really, really bad if you got people out here who can't even afford an apartment, let alone a house. You got this woke shit happening, in which nobody asked for, as well as the fear of a looming war, along with the draft. But do anybody care about that shit? No. Only thing people care about it. The only thing these retarded fucks care about is we want a supposed black female president in the office, like her race and her gender is supposed to mean something. Oh, let me guess. Her race and her gender is supposed to stop all that, right? This is the reason why people who's voting for Kamala Harris, just by her race and her gender, they looking retarded as fuck. And if she does win the presidency, how's that going to change nothing? How's that going to change anything? It won't. You even got some who believe that she's only running for president to continue on doing Joe Biden's bidding. Or shall I say, incompetent Joe Biden's bidding. But this is what happens when you got a bunch of idiots who are more than willing to vote someone in based off of emotion rather than logic and common sense. But that's all I'm gonna say on the matter. Again, shout out to Officer Tatum. I'll leave the link to his full video in the description box. Go check it out. Tell him J. Miles sent you. But that's about it. I said what I had to say. I'm done. Yo, my masterpiece gonna be dropping tomorrow. Go check that out because I'm gonna piece everything together to let everyone know what is actually happening. Y'all don't want to miss that shit. But nevertheless, I'm out this bitch. Later.